That's what makes this show so valuable.
Yeah, we're not just spewing stuff that we off the top of our head. We're bringing guys in that are smarter than us.
Consider us as your real estate concierge.
Call me all things real estate, credit, refinancing, buying a house.
And now, the show that gives you the latest and most relevant housing market news. Real Estate Radio Boston with financial expert Rick Scherer and legal professional Ali Alavi.
Hey, I want to welcome in Tech Time with Erica Wallace. Happy birthday. What's happening?
Thank you, guys. We are getting ready for the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, with the app for this week. This is an app called Brad's Black Friday app. It's run by the people who do bradsdeals.com. They actually have people who go out and look for all the best online deals every day. So they're a pretty great site in and of themselves, but their Black Friday app seems to be the best app out there if you want to see some of the sales, like the Best Buy sales and Target, all the big chains. If you want to see what their circulars look like ahead of time, they're actually giving you full access to all of those deals.
Does it also compare prices and stuff too?
It does. So I don't plan on standing in line on Friday, but one of the computer sales that they recommended was online. So Amazon has a Black Friday deal. There's also Cyber Monday, which is all online, but on Black Friday, a lot of shops participate online as well. So if you're not looking to...
How do people get the app?
If they go to blackfriday.bradsdeals.com or just search the Black Friday app in iTunes or on Google Play.
And Bobby, you were saying earlier that listing agents have come up with kind of a cool little way to create sort of that demand.
I saw this just last week, actually. It was a property. I mean, this wasn't a condo. This was an entire building. And the area was decent. It wasn't great. It was on the border of the South End in Roxbury. Mm-hmm. And it was on for $1,070,000. It was thrown on the market, but it was significantly lower than what the actual value is. As a result, the open house was practically like a block party.
Yeah.
They had 13 offers in the second day, and I personally had a client put in an offer for over $200,000 over asking. We didn't get it.
Wow.
Had the owner, or the agent rather, put it on for something around its value or a little bit over, they would have had that on the market for months. They would have gone through a lot of tire kicking.
Yep.
So I really think it is a much better aggressive strategy to price something slightly lower than what you're willing to take. You will give the perception of value and have a lot more traffic through. And once somebody puts an offer in, there's some emotional attachment there, and they're willing to commit and fight for it and see it through to a higher mark than what you would otherwise have.
So your advice is to sellers out there is maybe give you a call, go through your strategy of pricing it a little bit below the market, creating a lot of demand, creating a lot of buzz. So there's something to be said behind that, as opposed to just reaching for the stars because you hear people are getting in astronomical amounts.
Absolutely.
If you can create value, that's really where you're going to get it. So what we do is we'll find a property, usually a multifamily, a layout that works, an attic that you might be able to expand, or a basement that you could dig out and create that living space that wasn't there before.
Sure.
So I can offer my clients who are willing to go through this process. Granted, it's not fall off the log easy. It is involved. But I have the contractors. I have the architects, the designers, the landscapers, all of that. But they work with me enough that I'm able to offer something close to a wholesale rate. So keeping those costs down, we can make a project viable that otherwise wouldn't be.
You've set up a very interesting relationship whereby you're reducing, based on those contractor relationships that you have and supplier relationships you have, you're actually lowering the overall cost of construction, which I think is an immense value to an investor.
I lived in Marina Bay for a while, had a townhouse, and they were very, very restrictive on what we could put for decorations and that sort of thing. So just kind of want to get the general census of if I'm a condo owner, what do I need to watch out for?
If the board permits or subject to the board's approval, usually approval cannot be unreasonably withheld.
Okay.
Which sort of leads into something else, which is whether or not putting up religious type symbols constitutes some sort of religious discrimination.
Some persons might like only white candles in a window. Some people might like the more traditional colored lights showing from their window. Some people might want their Christmas tree all illuminated from their window. So now it becomes a matter for the board as to A, whether or not to permit it. If they permit it, what type, how long 2 weeks before the holiday, 2 weeks after the holiday to take it down? Can they make a determination as to how to, let's say in the case of a Christmas tree, how to dispose of it? So there are a lot of factors other than simply saying, okay, seasonal holiday decorations are fine.
What kind of restrictions are associations either allowing people to do, and what are they restricting people to do in those common areas?
If the association permits the clubhouse to be rented for private parties, and when I say private, I mean private for the residents, not the outside
Sure.
world, because that's a topic for another day. But the unit owners have the right to reserve it for a Saturday or Sunday night, and they're going to host their holiday party there. You get to the next issue about what are you going to do about serving alcohol?
Yeah.
Right.
Who is responsible if something adverse happens as a result of selling the alcohol? Did the association know that alcohol would be provided? I mean, think of all of the situations that we're aware of and put them in one setting of a jointly owned property. A property that's not just yours, but
Sure.
owned by everyone else, your neighbors, who knew nothing about what was going on there, by the way.
That's excellent point. I mean, and also just as a quick dovetail, if you're planning on having a party inside the unit, forget about the clubhouse scenario. The master insurance policy doesn't cover that. So if somebody were to slip and fall inside your unit, the master insurance policy affords you no protection whatsoever.
And I'm so glad you raised that, because you would not believe how many unit owners are unaware of that.
Yeah.
They really think that they're being covered.
All right, so I think the take-home message here is that if you're planning on decorating your condo, if you're planning on displaying something on the outside of your door or your window or putting up lights, really take a look at these condo docs. Dissect the condo docs. If you have any questions, contact Goodman, Shapiro, and Lombardi. And that's something that you guys do, but you do it really, your focus is more on the board side of things.
Right.
So if
Right.
the board is taking a look at this and saying, is this a reasonable use? Is this not a reasonable use?
Yeah.
So those boards really ought to be contacted.
I mean, you guys represent, I think, over 800 boards. So, I mean, if anything, if you guys know anything, it's a lot of it.
It's condos and boards.
Huh.